The Neurobiology of Exam Anxiety, Taming Your Amygdala. Hello, and welcome back to Language Skills. I'm your host, Vikram Singh Basaati. Close your eyes for a moment. Just for a second, I want you to imagine the scene. You are sitting in a sterile examination room. The proctor looks at you with a neutral expression. They reach forward, and you hear the click of the record button on a digital audio device. In that split second, something happens inside your body. Your heart starts hammering against your ribs. Your palms become slick with sweat. Your mouth feels like it is stuffed with cotton. And then, the worst part, your mind goes completely blank. The vocabulary you spent 6 months mastering? Gone. The grammar rules you practiced religiously? Vanished. You open your mouth and nothing coherent comes out. If this sounds familiar, you are not weak. You are not a bad student. You are experiencing a perfectly predictable biological event. Your prefrontal cortex, the logical thinking part of your brain, has just been hijacked by a tiny almond-shaped structure deep in your limbic system. Today, we are going to dissect that hijacking. We are going to apply cutting-edge neurobiology, specifically polyvagal theory, to understand why this happens. And more importantly, I am going to teach you a simple 4-second breathing technique that will rewire your stress response before the examiner even presses record. Let's start with the anatomy of panic. Deep inside your brain, you have two tiny regions called the amygdala. Think of your amygdala as a 24/7 smoke detector. Its only job is to scan the environment for threats. It is ancient, it is fast, and it does not care about your IELTS score. Now, sitting right behind your forehead is your prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain. It handles logic, planning, language retrieval, and executive function, everything you need to ace a speaking test. Here is the problem. When your amygdala detects a threat like an examiner staring at you or a red recording light, it sends an emergency signal. It does not wait for permission. It slams the panic button. In a fraction of a second, your adrenal glands flood your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate spikes. Your breathing becomes shallow. And crucially, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO, goes offline. Neuroscientists call this amygdala hijack. Blood flow literally reroutes away from your higher cognitive functions and towards your muscles and limbs. Your brain says, "We are being attacked. Run, fight, or freeze." It does not say, "Let's conjugate the past perfect tense elegantly." This is why you forget words. It is not a memory failure, it is a biological failure. Your brain literally starves the language centers of oxygen and glucose because it thinks you are in physical danger. Now, enter polyvagal theory. This was developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, and it changes everything we understand about anxiety. Polyvagal theory tells us that our nervous system has 3 distinct states arranged like a ladder. At the top is the ventral vagal state. This is your safe, social, connected state. This is where fluency lives. Your heart rate is regulated, your voice is warm, and your prefrontal cortex is fully online. You are calm, present, and articulate. In the middle is the sympathetic state. This is your fight or flight response. This is the adrenaline rush, the racing heart, the shallow breathing. Your diaphragm tightens, and your vocal cords constrict, which is why your voice shakes during exams. At the very bottom is the dorsal vagal state. This is shut down, this is the freeze response. This is when you completely dissociate, your mind goes blank, and you stare at the examiner like a deer in headlights. Here is the truth. You cannot think your way out of a sympathetic or dorsal state. You cannot tell your amygdala to calm down with logic. The amygdala does not speak English. It does not speak logic. It speaks the language of the body. To tame your amygdala, you must talk to it through your physiology. You must send a signal up the vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve in your body, telling your brain that you are safe. The fastest way to do this is through your breath. Let me introduce you to your new best friend, box breathing, also known as the physiological sigh. This is not New Age mysticism, this is hard science. This technique is used by Navy SEALs, elite athletes, and trauma therapists worldwide because it directly stimulates the vagus nerve and activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the system that puts the brakes on your panic response. Here is how you do it. And I want you to practice with me right now. Just listen and follow along, even if you are in your car or at your desk. Step 1. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, nice and slow. Feel your belly expand. Step 2. Hold that breath for a count of 4. Step 3. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. Make it a long, controlled release. Step 4. Hold your lungs empty for a count of 4. Repeat this cycle 3 times. Do you feel that? The slight drop in your heart rate? That is your vagus nerve sending a signal up to your amygdala saying, "Stand down, we are safe." This is not a tiger, it is just a microphone. Now, let's apply this to your exam strategy. I want you to reprogram your pre-exam routine. Most students spend the 5 minutes before their speaking test frantically cramming vocabulary lists. They are trying to override the amygdala with logic. It does not work. You are just feeding the fire. Instead, I want you to walk into that waiting room or that examination booth and do absolutely nothing related to language for the first 3 minutes. No flashcards, no internal monologues about tenses, nothing. Sit down, close your eyes if you can, and practice your box breathing. Inhale, 4. Hold, 4. Exhale, 4. Hold, 4. Do this while the examiner is reading the instructions. Do this while they are adjusting the volume. Do this while they are pressing that intimidating record button. When you feel that familiar flutter of panic, and you will, do not fight it. Acknowledge it. Say to yourself, there's my amygdala. It's just doing its job. Then, take one deliberate, slow physiological sigh, a deep inhale through the nose, followed by a long, audible exhale through the mouth. Here is the beautiful secret. You do not need to eliminate anxiety. Anxiety is a natural, protective response. You just need to lower the volume so your prefrontal cortex can stay in the driver's seat. Think of it like tuning a radio. Box breathing is not a magic wand that makes the static disappear. It is a dial that turns the static down from a deafening roar to a faint whisper. At that faint whisper, your vocabulary, your grammar, and your fluency can finally be heard. And here is the neuroplasticity bonus. Every time you successfully regulate your nervous system during a stressful event, you are physically rewiring your brain. You are strengthening the neural pathways between your prefrontal cortex and your amygdala. You are literally training your CEO to talk to your smoke detector. The first time you do this, it might only give you a 10% reduction in anxiety, but the 20th time, the 50th time, your brain begins to automate this regulation. It stops treating the examiner's voice as a predator's growl and starts treating it as a simple conversation. You have been told to just relax 1,000 times. It is terrible advice because your nervous system does not know how to just relax. But your nervous system does know how to breathe. The examiner is not grading your panic. They are grading your ideas. They are grading your ability to communicate meaning, but they cannot grade what you cannot access. If your prefrontal cortex is offline, your Band-Aid is stranded in the parking lot of your subconscious. Take control of your physiology. Tame your amygdala. Own your breath. And when that red light flickers on, you will not be a victim of your biology. You will be the captain of it. This is Vikram Singh Basaati signing off from Language Skills. Your fluency is not hiding in a textbook, it is hiding in your breath. Find it, use it, and conquer that exam. See you in the next lesson.